Hi, this is Nahid, and welcome to the video series, The Coach Nahid Growth Process. This series is an overview of all of my thinking, kind of the system I've built and all the tools I've created that are designed to do one thing, which is to help you create the life that you really want. It involves getting you unstuck and clearing your path to success. Everything revolves around my core guiding question, which is if we're smart and capable and we have the freedom to create any life we want for ourselves, why are so many people stuck and unhappy? This question has always been compelling to me. And I think it's because in my life, I've always believed that I could create the life that I wanted. And when I was in college and I graduated, I felt that I was finally free and I could pretty much do whatever I wanted with the rest of my life. And so I literally chose a place on a map that I wanted to live. And little by little, I built a career that eventually led me to doing something I really loved. And I did work on my relationships as well. While it was an ongoing process, I've been able to create a life that I'm very happy with and very grateful for. But as I've talked to other people, I've often noticed that they feel trapped in their lives and that the idea of being able to build a life that they really want doesn't often seem possible. So, one thing that drove me from the very, very beginning of my business was this idea of how can I clear the path to success for people who are stuck. In order to do that, I really needed to understand what is in the way of success. And I created a model that I call the obstacles pyramid. The obstacles pyramid has 5 levels. And each of these levels is a category of things that can either hold you back or propel you forward. One example would be a habit. So you could have a habit that doesn't serve you. Let's say you have a habit of always having cookies in the afternoon, or a habit can propel you forward. Let's say you have a habit of getting up every morning and exercising. So your habits can propel you forward or hold you back. Throughout the pyramid, that's what every little piece of the system is. Things that can either propel you forward and make it very easy to create the life that you want, or hold you back and make it a huge struggle to create the life that you want. There are some things that are important to know about how these levels relate to each other. First of all, the levels near the top of the pyramid are easier to see and notice, while the lower levels are more subconscious. For example, the top level is clarity versus confusion. For the most part, you know, obviously, whether or not you're confused. And when you're trying to make a decision, the fact that you're unclear pops right into your brain. But when it comes to underlying beliefs, for example, which is the level at the bottom of the pyramid, we usually aren't aware at all of our beliefs. In fact, we don't even think our beliefs are our beliefs because we think our beliefs represent the reality of the world. So discovering what beliefs might be holding us back takes a little bit more work than discovering how we might be confused. By the same token, the higher levels of the pyramid take less time to change. In other words, it takes a couple of hours of gathering information and maybe bouncing your ideas off people to go from a state of confusion to a state of enough clarity to feel confident making a decision in many cases. Usually takes between 21 days to 30 or even 90 days, but not much longer than 90 days to create a new habit with intention. And the systems level represents habits and routines, among other things. When it comes to relationships, if you want to build new relationships or change the dynamics of your relationship, now we're looking at a matter of months, maybe 4 months or so. When we get to the needs level and the beliefs level, we're talking about learning and work that probably goes on your whole life, or at least many years. But the good news is every time you make even a little bit of progress at those levels, your life changes a lot for the positive, and it changes permanently because these levels have much firmer grip on you for the positive or for the negative. At every level, we have tools to help you get unstuck. so you can move forward freely. And in this series of videos, I'll go through each level of the pyramid and talk about the tools so that you have them available to you. One thing that's important to keep in mind, though, is sometimes we think we're stuck at a higher level, like clarity or habits, systems, but what's really holding us back stems from a lower level. And an example of this might be that you have a lot of trouble making decisions in general. So it's not just one decision that you're struggling with, and after a conversation, you make that decision and you move on. It so happens that every time you have a decision, you get really stuck. You take a long time to make that decision. And then even once you've made that decision, you tend to second guess yourself. Usually you're dealing with something at a lower level of the pyramid that's holding you in a tighter grip than just being unclear. So we'll go into that as well as we go through this video series. So that's a basic overview of the model. In the next videos, we'll go through the different levels. We're not going to dive you in deep to every single tool, but we're definitely going to show you every tool. And in all of those tools, we're going to show you how to find it if you want to do more work. So I look forward to seeing you soon.